In John 4:1-3, there was a Samaritan woman hiding in her place of residence waiting for the noon to arrive. She needed water, but she had to wait until everyone from the town withdrew from the well. At this same time, we learn that Jesus left Judea and traveled toward Galilee. But instead of avoiding Samaria like most Jews did, he had to pass through Samaria. This was not a mistake. It was a divine appointment. For the Jews hated the Samaritans. Jesus understood this, and this is why he specifically went to Sychar, because this was near the plot of ground that Jacob gave to his son Joseph, where Jacob's well was located. This was a major point of where the hatred between both groups started, and you can read about the incident that happened in Genesis chapters 34 and 35. Now in Samaria, at the well, Jesus was tired from his journey. Jesus sat down at the well. It was about the 6th hour, or noon. Then comes the turning point. A woman of Samaria came to draw water, and Jesus said to her, "Give me a drink." This shocked her, because Jews had no dealings with Samaritans. She asked, "How is it that you, being a Jew, ask a drink from me, a Samaritan woman?" But Jesus, in his patience, didn't reject her. Instead, he lifted the conversation. If you knew the gift of God and who it is who says to you, "Give me a drink," you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water. Confused, she pointed out that he had no bucket and the well was deep. She even asked if he was greater than Jacob, who gave them the well. With compassion, Jesus explained, "Whoever drinks of this water will thirst again, but whoever drinks of the water that I give will never thirst again. The water I give will become a fountain of water springing up into everlasting life." Jesus was speaking to her about the reality of God's Spirit dwelling within her. Patiently, he guided her from a conversation about physical water into spiritual truth. The woman said, "Sir, give me this water that I may never thirst again." Then Jesus gently revealed her life in a moment. He said, "Go, call your husband." She admitted, "I have no husband." And Jesus answered, "You have well said, for you have had 5 husbands, and the one you now have is not your husband." Basically, this is why she waited until the hottest time to draw water. High noon, when everyone left, to retrieve her water because she didn't want to hear about her life or any negative comments. But here we go. Notice Jesus' patience. He didn't condemn her, but he exposed her need for true fulfillment. Struck by his knowledge, she called him a prophet, and embarrassed, she changed the subject from the husbands to religion. She said, "The Jews said to worship in the synagogue, but the Samaritans say that we are to worship in the hills." Jesus explained to her that, "The hour is coming when you will neither worship on this mountain nor in Jerusalem. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. For God seeks such to worship him." In patience and love, Jesus broke down walls of tradition and division, pointing her to the heart of true worship, revealing that God does not wait in temples for people to worship, but God dwells in the hearts and spirits of his sons and daughters.
Finally, the woman said, "I know that Messiah is coming. When he comes, he will tell us all things." And Jesus revealed himself. "I who speak to you, I am he."
Right then, his disciples returned and marveled that he was speaking with her, but no one questioned it. They had no idea why Jesus sent them away, but it was so that this divine appointment could take place. The woman, overwhelmed, left her water jar and ran to the city, saying, "Come, see a man who told me all the things about myself and all that I ever did. This is the Messiah." Because of Jesus' patience and compassion with this one hurt woman, revival began in Samaria and spread abroad the region. Just imagine if Jesus had not come to specifically speak to our issues, what would we do today? What would we do with just 613 Mosaic laws that were hard, and for every mistake there was a stoning or a severe punishment? No conversation, no correction, just judgment. The disciples were urging Jesus to eat, not realizing that his greatest satisfaction was already happening. He was fulfilling the will of the Father by reaching one broken soul who would carry the message of hope to many who were hopeless and lost. This story shows us that Jesus meets us in our greatest need, our brokenness. He patiently reveals truth and transforms rejection into revival. What started as a simple request for water became a life-changing encounter at Jacob's well, filling a woman with the rivers of life.